Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Google Hangout by Strategies Unlimited. My name is Shanika Vijay, and I'm the Luminaire segment analyst here at Strategies Unlimited. And today I'd like to talk to you all about our most recent report, which is the Global Luminaire Report. We're very excited about this report because this year we're covering all the different technologies, including LED luminaires. So the way I'd like to structure today's presentation is first I'd like to give you all a few market highlights that we found while doing research for a report. Then I'd like to move into how we broke out the report, the different applications and segments we looked into. And then I'd like to conclude with just a brief overview of the data collection process we went through. And if at any point you'd like to send us a question, you can please tweet us at strategies_u with the hashtag lighting chat. With that, I'll jump right in. So for year 2014, Strategies Unlimited evaluated the global luminaire market at $59.5 billion. And LED luminaires were a third of this total unit shipment. So if you can remember where LED luminaires were 2 years ago, this is a staggering growth, an amazing growth for LED luminaires. And there have been a lot of drivers really helping with the penetration and growth of LED luminaires. Government regulation and government forces have been number one. And the other thing is that LED luminaires have really started penetrating into the major luminaire form factors that we looked at in our market study. Another finding was when we spoke with end users, such as lighting designers, specifiers, architects, and engineers, we found that these specifiers are becoming more and more comfortable in specifying and recommending LED luminaires, especially for new construction. But in order for them to specify these LED luminaires, there are a few requirements and parameters they looked into. For instance, when it came to regions such as North America, Western Europe, and Japan, specifiers usually preferred products to have a warranty of 3 years or longer, and also they wanted to recommend products that were currently being backed by credible big manufacturers. We also saw a similar trend in the China region. We saw that the lighting companies that have been traditionally incumbent manufacturers, such as companies that haven't been producing LED luminaires, are being forced into the LED luminaire lighting space. If they don't do so, we saw that a lot of companies were being forced to either consolidate or shut down. And also, when specifiers were looking into, in the China region, when they were looking for LED luminaires for new construction, their requirement was usually 1 year or longer. And while we're talking about the China region, we found that the region is still going through a lot of quality assurance issues. And one of the biggest reasons for this is unlike other regions such as North America, Western Europe, and Japan, the China region doesn't have the strict regulations, guidelines, federal guidelines that these other regions have. But we do see that there are a few regions within China that cities that are starting to have their own guidelines for manufacturers. Another trend we saw was in controls. We see that controls paired with LED luminaires are very popular right now, and that could be due to standards such as California's Title 24, where we see that smart lighting could become the next standard. Also, controls is really helping push the adoption of LED luminaires because now customers have features that weren't previously available. Now customers can adjust, they can play around with their CCT, color correlated temperature, beam angle, or even have the option to have their lighting behavior monitored for greater energy savings. We certainly see this in the street light application. And now controls we see has slowly started moving in the indoor lighting applications as well. And for year 2014, LED luminaires were, we assessed the penetration of LED luminaires to be around 3% for this year. With that, now I'd like to share a few excerpts directly from the report. So as I mentioned, the global market for 2014 was at $59.5 billion, with LED luminaires being a third of the total shipments. And the regions that contributed mostly to these shipments were regions such as Western Europe, China, and North America. And another market summary for this year was that, so we looked at all the major lighting, all the major luminaire form factors that are currently being used for general lighting, and these form factors are street lights, downlights, high bays, other suspended pendants, track lights, and troffers. And we saw that troffers and downlights contributed the majority of the revenues for the luminaire segment. And well, this makes perfect sense because usually the troffer and the downlight segments usually have the largest installed base in most regions. And when we looked at applications, majority of the shipments came from commercial applications. But if you look at the install base for most regions, the residential application usually is the largest install base. But this is a very price-sensitive application, and customers belonging to the residential sector may not be willing to as actively replace their luminaires as much as certain segments within the commercial application. And so just to mention again, the major luminaire form factors we looked at when evaluating the luminaire market were downlights, troffers, high base, street lights, suspended pendants, and track lights. So we feel that these are the majority of the luminaire form factors in the general lighting space. And so let's talk about how we broke out this report. So as I mentioned, first we looked at the major form factors that are being used in general lighting. Then we also broke it out by region because as some of you may know that each region has very different market drivers, market barriers, and competition within that region that really determine what type of lighting adoption happen, what do people prefer in terms of light quality or technology. And while we did divide out this report by region, we also had to go a step further and break it out by applications as well. And the major applications we looked into were retail, office, hospitality, industrial, outdoor, residential, and healthcare. So why did we do this? So let's take a low activity industrial warehouse as an example. In a low activity industrial warehouse where let's say it's been mainly used for storage. In this application, the owner can get away with just installing luminaires that don't have the greatest CRI, they don't have the highest light quality, but get away with luminaires that just are able to achieve the lighting requirement output for that particular building type. But if you look at a high-end retail store or a high-end hospitality application, here the owner may be more critical, more apprehensive of installing low-quality luminaires that may conflict with the brand name, with the brand recognition he or she is trying to create. So in these high-end applications, we see that active replacement may happen more frequently with customers, with clients, if they value if they prioritize light quality. And so one of the parameters we looked at in this report was a detailed breakdown of the average selling price of all the technologies for all the different luminaire form factors. So, well, when it comes to incumbent technologies such as CFLs, fluorescent, incandescent, halogen, and HID luminaires, we don't see any drastic price decline in the near future. These technologies have matured; they're in mass production right now, so we don't anticipate any price decline. However, we do anticipate LED luminaires to have better efficiency in the next few years, and to also have price declines that may help with adoption. But when you look at the unique scenario of LED downlights, we see that LED downlights have been in the market long enough where they have gained product credibility. Customers are very comfortable and familiar with this product. I mean, if you take North America as an example, this year the total LED downlight shipments made approximately half of all the downlights being shipped into Northern California, into North America. So this is great, and so and also LED downlights are currently have a payback of around 1 to 2 years. So we don't anticipate any drastic price declines for LED downlights. But when you look at other luminaire form factors such as troffers, streetlights, and high bays and other applications, we do anticipate that these prices will come down over time. And so this report has a very detailed breakdown of all the different form factors applications that I mentioned previously. And so it has forecasts from year 2014 up until year 2022. It has unit shipments as well as revenue forecast for all the different form factors and applications I had mentioned. And so another global summary. So going forward, we do see a market growth for the overall luminaire market, but we see most of this growth coming from the LED luminaire segment. We don't see a lot of growth, market growing for the incumbent technology because the payback, the ASPs for LED luminaires are expected to keep declining over time. So we see the largest decline happening for HID luminaires and incandescent luminaires. So overall, Strategies Unlimited sees a healthy market growth for LED luminaires of about 11% from year 2014 up until year 2022. And we see a majority of this growth been driven by integrated LED luminaires. So these include luminaires that don't have a bulb or a tube that you could just remove, that you can just detach, and so LED integrated luminaires comprise of luminaires with modules in them. And so while doing our research and with all the applications, form factors, and regions that I mentioned that we evaluated, it would be impossible for us to include all the thousands of data points that we have for this report. So for this report, it will come with a pivot table tool where the customer will be able to hone into the particular features that they would like more market information on. For instance, if the customer is more interested in the high bay application for the North America region, then they will be able to filter those parameters and look at what type of technologies that market has, what type of penetration is expected of LED luminaires, and where and how that application is expected to grow in the next coming years. And so for the data collection process, Strategies Unlimited has been tracking the LED industry for the past 20 years. And we did detailed financial analysis of all the major lighting manufacturers. And so while doing our evaluation for year 2014, we spoke with the major lighting manufacturers to validate our current assumptions of the market, our analysis, and our evaluation of the market. And to study the trends and the anticipated lighting trends, we spoke with end users such as lighting experts, industry experts, designers, architects, engineers, to see what people were currently using, what trends were currently in the industry, and what to anticipate for the next coming years. So this is a general process that we went through while conducting our forecast for this report. And with that, I would like to thank you all so much for hanging out with us today on this Google Hangout. We will try to bring you more of our Google Hangouts. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email address is shanikav@penwell.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at strategies_u. And please send your questions through that with the hashtag lighting chat. You can also follow me on Twitter at LED_Shanika. And if you'd like more information about our most current Global Luminaire report, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. And again, thank you so much for your time today.